Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking About Rock, sponsored by School of Rock, Rochester, New York. They are taking pre-enrollment now at 585-400-7625, or visit them at their kiosk location in the Eastview Mall in Victor, New York. Their location opens this spring at 235 High Street Extension in Victor. Today we have for you an upcoming rock metal band from Switzerland, Izamanya. They released their first official CD, Second Life, in 2017, and followed that up in 2018, releasing Pure and Naked. Since that time, the band has rocked numerous shows in Switzerland and abroad, playing clubs, festivals, in-store radio, and unplugged showcases. Their latest release, Next, continues to showcase their provocative rock metal music. Today, we will chat with the members of Izamanya. Next on Talking About Rock. Okay, folks, let's welcome to the show Iza and Manny from Izamanya. Hey, folks, How are you doing today, man?
Great, thanks. So we passed Christmas so far.
Right. Christmas is over with. Yeah, I don't know about you folks. We had a ton of snow out here in Buffalo, New York. It was a little crazy hectic for us.
Yeah, we saw that on the news, So that was must be really crazy at the time, right?
Yeah, but we cleaned it up pretty fast. You know what I mean? So once the roads are open, which they're all open today, and everything is plowed and back and go, we know how to handle the snow here in Buffalo. We usually get it cleaned up pretty good. They're pretty good with that.
Kind of like normalized again right now. So
yeah, pretty much. So I've been checking out and really enjoying the new album from you guys. Really cool stuff. And so the band name is like a joining of your names, correct?
Absolutely. Yes. You got it. Yes.
Very, very cool. Very cool. So can you tell us a little bit about writing the new album and coming up with that?
So we released in spring, right? Spring this year. So we recorded the stuff at 21 during the pandemic and all that.
Right.
And of course we wrote some more songs as well. So we're going to release it this year then. Also 23.
Next year, yeah.
Yes, we got more stuff coming. Very, very cool. And Manny, you're also a former member of KROKUS and Ain't Dead Yet, right?
Yes, that's right.
So you got to play with them and did some touring with them as well, I assume?
Yeah, so we were lots of stuff we did in Europe, so like England and Germany, of course, and then we played Wacken and all that. So I had the chance to play all the big stuff as well. So and I left the band at 2001. So for different other projects, so that what I had to go on, like I had to study with engineering and all that, and did schools and stuff like that, and then I was did something else
right. You're not just a musician, you're a producer, a songwriter, and an engineer, and the bassist for the band as well.
Yes.
So you're wearing lots of hats, and I love to talk to folks in like England and different countries, because rock and metal is so strong in those other areas. Not as strong as it was here back in the day, and we're hoping it gets rejuvenated, and kind of that's why we're doing stuff like this, because we want people to know that. But the crowds there are just fabulous from what I hear and see. It's got to be amazing playing out there.
That's true. So for us, it's important to go on with all the stuff. So and then I played the bass at KROKUS as well, so had a lot of practice with that, and I was always taking care of that I can record the stuff, the new stuff, the new songs, by myself in my own studio. So that's why I learned during the years. I learned a lot of different styles as well, and of course different instruments like bass and guitars and all that.
Very cool, very cool. And Iza, you're also a songwriter and a producer for different bands, as well as the vocalist for Izamanya, right? So can you tell us a little bit about your background a little bit, some of the stuff you've done?
Before, like, Yeah, but I did many things before too. Yeah. Yes.
So you're producing and songwriting for other bands as well.
Yes, that was Sweet November. It's not so famous, only here in Switzerland. And then in 2016, began to work together.
Nice, nice. So what is the rock and metal scene like there? Are there local bands playing? Is there stuff going on? What's happening there? Give us a little peek of.
There are a lot of bands in Switzerland as well, you know, like all over the place, you know. So we have clubs to go on, you know, so we can play and all that, you know. But it's a really small thing, you know, we have in Switzerland. So for us, the main thing is to go out of Switzerland as well, you know.
Right. Explore other areas for sure. Yeah. I'm just always interested to see what the local music scene is kind of going on in those different areas and seeing what's happening. It's really great to see there's a lot of original music that's coming back in different areas, and people really need to give that stuff a shot, you know, more so than ever nowadays. And that's kind of why we want to bring some of that stuff out and let people know about that.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So we have a lot of cover bands as well in Switzerland, you know, that everybody plays music and you're not so into songwriting by themselves. So they want to go out and play, and of course they play a lot of covers so they can play.
The covers thing and the tribute thing is huge all over, right? That just exploded a few years ago. With everything with I think with the ticket prices just going through the roof on so many different events, right? You're like, oh, maybe we'll go see a cover, or maybe we'll go see a tribute band and check those guys out instead. And it's just been huge all over. Here it's really big too. They have all kinds of tribute bands.
So we played also in different cover bands and all that stuff. So before Ain't Dead Yet was doing original songs, so we played covers all the time. So we could go out and play a lot of gigs, you know, and all that stuff.
Right. Then you slip some originals in there every once in a while, right? Is that what you're doing?
Of course. Then we put stuff like stuff into it, and you know, that's why then it grows to a unique band, you know, as well. You know, just for one album. So
and then you can kind of judge the audience reactions too, to like test out your material, right, and to see kind of what's gonna feel good, or what's gonna have a good live situation, because that's really what it's all about, the live experience, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. So now we're gonna do it a different way. So we're gonna play a lot of acoustic stuff. So we did it in the past, like in stores. So we did in stores. So we played all the stuff we have on CD. We played it in acoustical way, just voice and guitars, and we started 2017. We started with these things because the band, we were not able to play big concerts, you know. So because nobody knows Izamanya, knows the songs, and you know, because of this KROKUS thing, so you can't get, you know, enough people to the gig, you know. It's not so much interesting then. So, and then we thought about doing something like to do the promo, and that's what we do right now. What we did in the past, you know, we could make over 100 gigs, just play acoustical thing and vocals. So we play Back to Life and all that stuff on acoustical guitars and with one vocal song, and that works for us really fine. So we could sell CDs, and we could, you know, gain a little bit the name as well in Switzerland so far. So that's why it's just a little thing, little steps.
So, that's what you got to build on. You got to build on step by step, little by little, you know, doing different things, trying different things. And the acoustic thing is really cool, because you'll probably get a wider audience would come and see that, right? Than a hard rock show, right?
Yeah. And it's interesting, because the metal fans, they're going like, oh no, it's cool. I didn't know, that you can play the riffs, you know, on the acoustic.
Right. It's like those are how the riffs were written originally. Right?
And I tell you, it's really hard to play. I tell you, it's really those riffs, you know. You can, you know, you have to rearrange it a little bit, of course. because you
Right.
don't have drums and bass and all that. And you play with acoustical guitar, you play the bass, the guitar, and the drums with one instrument. So you have to, you know, really get your stuff together and
Really get your chops up. But I'm
It's
sure it
amazing.
helps so much though, like doing those shows, it just improves your technique a lot, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah. You learn to
Yeah.
play, like, so you play in a metal club or something like that, you know, and then you start playing acoustical guitar and voice and nothing else. So then you have to perform the stuff really, really well and play the people to the heart right away, you know. So otherwise you get no chance, you know. You're not so loud and you're not so, you know, like pompous. How can I say this, with the lights and all that, you know. It's just little
Right,
things.
stripped down, basic.
Yes.
Pure
Yeah,
and
naked.
Right.
So,
Since the other album, exactly,
we
right.
learned, yeah, absolutely. We learned a lot, you know. So what's the essential things are playing live metal or hard rock or whatever, you know, playing music, you know, and that's what brings up a new possibility to go out, you know, and play, because playing with a whole band and playing tours and all that stuff, it's really expensive, you know that.
Right, very much so, yeah.
So you have to, before that you have to sell CDs and you know.
Right, and that's why they're having so many festivals I see coming out all over the place. There's different festival shows with multiple bands in different areas,
Yeah.
which is cool because you get to see a lot of acts from a fan standpoint. Obviously, the artists are not making a lot on those type of gigs, but it's exposure to all the different areas and the different fan bases from the different acts that are there, which is really cool. So
Yeah.
So from a fan standpoint, we like seeing that, but I know it's hard. I know there's lots of tours that are coming up and finally moving forward within this year and next year. There's been a lot of success with tours, obviously, like the stadium tour with Motley Crue and Def Leppard. That was really successful, so they decided they're going to do it again, right? They're going to come around again. So, but just seeing more shows coming out and more bands still playing, and metal still really strong in those numbers, right? Judas Priest still selling.
Yeah.
Queensryche coming back on top again, starting to headline again. So it's starting to see some of that come around, which is great. I'm really happy about that myself.
Yeah,
but
we see also some new kids, also younger kids, coming back to the self-made playing rock and roll music as well. Also, they I have some students in the, you know, I get some, you know, workshops and all that, you know, and I have some students really like 17 years old and stuff like that. They know Black Sabbath. Can you imagine?
Yep.
They know, I go like, do you know that riff? Pam, 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 pam. They go like, yes, this is
exactly.
And that's I was really surprised, and that's a good thing, you know, how it starts, you know, get that new generation of
exactly, the new generation. And that's why we're so happy to have our sponsor, School of Rock. They've opened different schools out here and stuff coming up. So it's so cool to be bringing that back to younger kids, like you're saying. You know, they have this catalog of songs they can go through, and they can learn Sabbath, and they can learn Jimi Hendrix and all things like that. And we're lucky to kind of start seeing here ourselves some original bands and original music. We have a band here called Hearts and Hand Grenades, and they just got a tour of the UK they're going to be leaving for next month. You know, they're a hard rock band from Buffalo, all original music. So it's so cool to, like you said, see younger bands starting to lean that way and starting to have original music, people starting to dig it and follow it, because we have to understand, like, if there's no new music, if there's no new original music, what's going to happen? There's going to be no music coming up in the future,
nothing.
Right? There won't be. You have to have original music. You have to have new bands. You have to have all this kind of, you know, resurgence of everything, which is cool. But kind of let's get back to your stuff. I really love the track Back to Life. I thought it's like a really driving rock force song, but there's also like that bluesy groove and that great vocals in there. Very like almost a bluesy sound to it. It's really cool, you know. Can you tell us a little bit about that track? Because I really like it. It's got a little bit of everything in it almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, the stuff where we come from, you know, we can, you know, to the past. So we did a lot of blues, we did a lot of rock and roll thing, you know. We started with kind of like AC/DC or stuff like that, you know. It's like it's always we're looking for how can you say that, development, how can you say that, you know, like so we're gonna looking for new stuff all the time, you know. So like that we're gonna produce the next album we're gonna produce, and looking for new sounds, and try to, you know, put more original riffs into it, and, you know, try to be ourselves, you know.
Well, I really like the elements of that track, how you put different things into it. It's a really great track. And I wanted to take a quick pause here, and I wanted to play the video for that. So we'll take a pause for a minute. We'll be back with Izamanya. We'll play the track for Back to Life, and we'll be right back here on Talking About Rock.
Wasting away, the vultures were already approaching.
Okay, we're back here on Talking About Rock. Just checked out the video for Back to Lake. Like I was saying, you know, a very heavy driving force sound you start out with, but then you got some of that bluesy groove and the great vocals. I really like that. I really dig that. I hope some more folks will check that out. It's on the next album from Izamanya. Very cool, very cool. So what else you folks got going on there? You have any dates coming up, plans coming up? I know you were talking about you're doing some more music. What else is going on?
So we're
Many things.
we plan many things. Yes.
Yeah.
So
really.
So we of course we did during the pandemic. So we did big writing sessions and all the time. We worked in our own studio. That's for sure. That's the best possible shot we could get, you know. So, and of course we worked on new songs, and next year we would like to release 12 new songs, and they coming out with different CDs again.
Okay.
A vinyl.
Vinyl.
Yeah. Vinyl. Yeah, vinyl is big again, right? Vinyl is a big thing again for people. Yeah. A lot of collectors out there. A lot of bands are releasing, and even some bands I've seen, they release stuff on cassettes again, which is kind of cool. But yeah, the vinyl is huge again.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have a little concept, you know, bringing out the new songs, you know, like, you know, step by step.
In steps, yeah.
You know, so like this, you know, and then of course we're gonna do further gigs with the acoustical thing, and we're planning doing a tour or something in Switzerland, a really small thing, if it's happened, if it's possible.
In autumn?
In October, November.
October, November coming up, like in
September,
fall, yeah.
September, October, so it's,
yeah.
And that's what we go for. So it depends how, you know, how big we can bring up the follow, you know. So till then with the Izamanya gigs, you know, it's
right.
Band, yeah.
Yep. And I always got to ask, I love to ask bassists or guitarists, is there like certain gear you like to use, or certain effects, or something that you've come across that you're like really excited about, or do you kind of always check out new gear and new things and change stuff up?
Yeah, so I have my do a little commercial right now.
That's fine.
You know, I play since, you know, 1996. I play Diesel amplifications, a German amplification. So,
okay.
You know, that's America as well, you know, like James Hetfield is playing Diesel and all that, you know, so there's a lot of bands playing that. And so I have my gear, finally have my gear ready. So what's new is the decision to go more with a Fender type of sound, or more the Les Paul type of sound. So that's going to be, for us, that's going to be really cool thing, you know, to find out. So how Izamanya would sound, you know, in the next for the next songs. For the
right. So you can experiment with some of that a little bit.
Yes, a little bit. So we drop down a little bit the tuning as well.
Right.
And you know, we're really looking for something really
unique sound.
Sound, down to earth, and you know, not the classical metal.
Right. I think that's the two hardest things. Like I know for guitarists or bassists, you're always looking for that tone you want out of your instrument. And then the other thing is you're looking for some type of standout sound for your band. How people can, you know, totally realize that, you know, when they're hearing one of your songs, you know it's Izamanya right away. That you can recognize the material. Just like if you hear an AC/DC track, you know it's AC/DC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right away. There's no question, right? Same thing with a lot of the other big bands, Judas Priest and stuff like that. You recognize it right away before you hear it.
Absolutely.
But
for us, it was always in the past. It was always interesting, you know, to work with that thing, you know, and just go ahead, you know, go step by step, you know, to coming more original sound, and in our own studio, so we can experiment and do some experiments in that direction. So we have
excellent. Yeah, well, I really look forward to the new tracks coming out. I really like what you guys have done so far. It's really cool. Please
so
keep
much.
us in the loop on your dates that are coming up, or you have shows coming up. We'd love to hear about that. Please keep us in the loop on that. And if folks want to know more about you, where should they check you out? Should they check it out on Spotify or social media, or what should they do?
Absolutely. Spotify is yes, please.
Right? That seems to be the go-to for a lot of people.
Some more.
We need it's so hard, to get
Yeah.
every little click, it's like, oh, thank you so much.
Right. I know. Yeah, social media is the key nowadays for all this stuff.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and then you guys got your website too, right?
Yes, we got Izamanya.com.
Yeah, you find us everywhere.
Cool.
We work on that social things every day, and put out everything that it makes sense, at least, not just every little thing that's not interesting enough. It's all like, so we try to go on and to keep on good ideas, to put out all the time.
Very cool. Yeah, and I got to check out some more of your acoustic stuff. I really dig what I heard so far, but that's awesome. So I just want to thank you both so much for being with us today. We really appreciate it. Yep. And if you folks out there want to know more about us, you have questions or comments, please feel free to email us at talkingaboutrock@gmail.com. You can like us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And for this interview and all our others, you can check us on our YouTube channel, and the audio will be posting on all the streaming services as well. Folks, thank you so much.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
It was very pleasant to talk.
Have a good night now.
Thank you.
Have a good night and have a good new year.
Happy New Year to all of us.
Happy
Right.
New Year.
Hope we see us next year.
Yep. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Yeah.